Welcome to the Ordinary Guy Garage. I'm Scott, Ordinary Guy. So today I'm supposed to have some video about showing some of the action from last night at the racetrack. I didn't get any video, I'll tell you that right now. My phone was dead and it was kind of a stressful night and I just didn't take any. I could insert any list of excuses I want why I didn't do it, but the bottom line is I didn't. So it was a little bit of a mad dash, even though, I bought this big enclosed trailer so that way I could have everything I need on the trailer. So whenever I get home from work on Friday night or Saturday morning, whatever I decide I want to do with the racing, all I have to do is fire up my truck that's already hooked to the trailer and already loaded and go down there. So I don't have to do any more of that mad thrash that I've done in the past with the flatbed trailer. So, and then forget half my tools and all the stuff I need. So I did that with the enclosed trailer. It left half of my stuff here, not half, way more than that here. And was unprepared to make any adjustments or do any tuning at the track. So next Friday is coming up and I'm gonna be a little bit more prepped. I'm saying that, hopefully that's what'll happen. So anyways, as far as the S10 went, my first pass was an 1183. Followed by the second pass of an 1180. Those were two qualifying passes. And then my elimination pass, I dialed an 1179 and I ran an 1176. So I broke out. So dude put me on the trailer. It happens. I should be running faster than that though. So I did watch on my, I did watch on my last pass the AFR gauge pretty closely. And I was running 16.5, 15 up at about 1,000 feet or so, which is too lean. So I'm gonna have to do some jet changes on that and bring it back around. You know, the night down at the track started off with the very first guy who took who made the pass. The very first guy who made a pass on the track broke on the top end of the track and oiled down the whole top end of the track. Very first pass. Put us back for about an hour while they cleaned that up. So the thing you're supposed to do when you brake, no matter how you brake, what you brake, why you brake, pull over to the side of the track as soon as you can. So that way you don't leave a big old oily mess all the way down the track, especially on the top end. So it took a while to clean that up, but for whatever reason, that's what you're supposed to do. Who knows why or what? I don't know the guy that did that, and he might have been unable to stop, I don't know. But anyways, that's that. Bean's car, the junior dragster, in my mad thrash to get out of here and get down to the track and fire his car for the first time, the fuel pump that's on his car, the lines were coming out of the wrong side. Now on the junior dragster, you can take the fuel pump apart and move it around to get your inputs or your intake and output, whatever, on the fuel pump to go the right way, so it goes to your fuel tank and to your carburetor. So it was on there the wrong way, so I pulled it all apart and swapped it around, put it in there, and it ran good until I got to the track, and actually ran good at the track too. He did his burnout, because he loves doing a burnout in the junior. He did his burnout, and right after the burnout, it didn't want to run anymore. It would spit and sputter, and it was starving for fuel. So there's a fuel delivery problem, and I'm pretty sure it's my fault for messing with that fuel pump in a hurry. And like I said, I didn't bring any of the stuff I needed to bring with me, and it was dark in the pits, and I was frustrated already, and I didn't mess with it. So we did try to make a second pass with it, and in the second pass, his clutch came apart. So we just had the motor and the clutch both freshened, and the clutch came apart. And they had a heck of a time getting his car to roll off of the track. I wasn't down there because my wife and older son are the ones that do the pulling with the golf cart way at the end of the track, and I was at the other side of the track. So I barely knew what was going on, only from what I heard over the loudspeaker. But he shut down the track for probably 20 minutes. So first time I've ever seen a junior dragster shut down the track, especially for that long. So attaboy Bean. But anyways, it was a fun night. It was a really fun night. A little stressful at first, but it's all good, all good. So anyways, what we're gonna be doing this week is I gotta get everything out of the trailer and I'm going to jet up the S10 a little bit, check the timing on it, and see if I can get back to that 1150. I'd like to see an 1140 out of it. I think it's capable of that. When I was putting it together, in my mind, I'm thinking 1138. Don't know why, but that's the number I wanted. So I think I can get it. And then the Junior, we're going to have to pull it apart, fix the fuel pump, and deal with that clutch. Hopefully it's just a matter of coming loose and I can put it all back together and not have to send it back. You know, sending back to Tennessee, there's no way it'll be back in a week unless I overnight it, and I don't want to do all that. So anyways, that's it. So what I'm going to do is start pulling stuff out, bring it into the shop and mess with it, and I'll get Bean out here and we'll get going. I'm going to do a little quick walkthrough on the trailer, you know, as best we can, and show you how I can fit, you know, 10 pounds of poop in a 5-pound bag, basically. So anyways, let's go do that real quick. Well, one of the really cool things about this trailer here is this front door. This would be, I guess, for a snowmobile trailer thing. That way, I guess snowmobiles can't go in reverse or something. I don't know. But they're supposed to come out, you know, you drive them in the back and then they come out this side. But anyways, what this does really nice for us is the golf cart, it's like using it for its own little door. So once it gets in here, you know, if I don't have to work on the cars, then I can pull the golf cart in and out, because, you know, we live on a piece of property and the kids use it to go next door to grandma's house and help her out and things like that, and to go up and down the driveway because it's kind of long. But anyways, you can see the Junior kind of crammed in there in its mount, the S10 in there like that. So it really kind of is a tight fit. And then I haven't set it up yet, so I still got a lot of work to do in here. I got to set up my toolbox and everything, or a toolbox in here that'll be specific for the trailer. So, you know, that's basically what I could grab. I just grabbed that stuff and threw it on there and go, okay, this will get me through. You know, I brought jets and stuff, but I wasn't able to do all that stuff last night. So Bean brought some polish for his car, just, you know, in the thinking that we were going to be out there leisurely doing things. So, but anyways, yeah, that's how it all fits in here, pretty tight. So I'm going to go ahead and get this trailer in position and start pulling things out of it. So here's the clutch on the Junior. I was waiting to get it in the shop, but I was able to kind of roll it out of the trailer, but once I hit the gravel out here on the way into the shop, it just drags. It's not enough to, you know, the ground's too loose to be able to get the wheels to turn. But we can see in here, I don't know if you can get in there, the clutch has come apart. All this right here is, you know, not supposed to be, wait, that's the belt. It's hard to see it out here, but I kind of wanted to get a video of it. Yeah, there we can see right there. This right here is all apart right there. So that's the issue where it all came apart. So I'm gonna have to pull it apart somewhat out here and see what I could do with it. Sorry for the bad video. All right, I got the clutch back together. So basically what happened, you can see in the video clip right before this, the bearing, you could see where it was pushed out from the bearing support, and really what happened was the stud came loose. So totally my fault in putting it together. Didn't have it quite tight enough and it came apart. So that's all rectified. The other issue that we were having was the fuel pump. Pulled the fuel pump apart and got it clocked correctly, so that all works. So Monday I'll call Huddleston and go over any other little issues that I might have. That I got a small list. Talk to him about it, and we should be ready for Friday night again. So that's that for the Junior. Now I'm going to move on over to the S10. All right, first thing I'm going to do here is jet it up. It was running a little bit too lean, so I'm going to bump it up a bunch of jet sizes. Paint cup lid for spray can. Makes a really good way to drain the bowl, because just like that. Okay, well, we've got the metering block off. I pulled the jets out. These are 79s. I was at 16.5, which is really lean. So I'm gonna go to 82s on the front. And I have 82s on the back right now. I'm gonna go to 84s on the back. So that'll bring me up 5 jet sizes. See what that does. And if I gotta bump it up a little bit more at the track, I'll just have to do the front. Because you could see, like in that, even though you put the cup under there, you still spill gas everywhere. And I'd rather not do that on a hot engine down at the track. So I will, but I'd rather do as much as I can here. So I got this handy dandy. It's actually a Summit brand jet thing, but man, if you're gonna be racing or whatever, this is totally worth it because you don't have to guess at a size and then go down and buy it. You just got a whole thing of it right here. So the most important thing is don't drop it because it's harder than heck to see these things. For me anyways. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have any 82s. Oh, 82s are in the back bowl. And then next to it are 83, 84. So, see 82s. I'll put 83s in the front. How about that? I'll run 83s in the front, and then I'll bump up to 84s in the back. That ought to do it. 83. I always like to double check them because, you know, just in case they bounce around in there or whatever. There's an actual tool for doing this, but I like this little stubby screwdriver. It seems to work pretty good for it. Fits right across. And really that's basically what you're looking for. It is. And then, not supposed to be super tight. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab the other one. All right, the back one, excuse me. The back one has jet extensions on it. You can see it. The reason for it is when you're under hard acceleration, you want the jets to be in the fuel. So if the fuel's sloshing back, you know, jet extensions put them in there. So when you do the jet extensions, you also have to have a corresponding float, fuel level float. So that way they have notches in them so it clears the extensions. So pull these guys out. Like I said, I think these were 82s. Yeah, 82. Could have just put these on the front, but one jet size doesn't make a big deal. And these are 82 and 82. So both 82s. Those will go in the 82 hole, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 82, and then I'll grab the 84s. '84 and 84. I'll pop those guys in. All right, gonna pop that back in. All right, carburetor's back together. And you see I put my 83 on the front, got 84 written on the back, so I don't forget. And so that should wrap up the engine. I need to do the timing, but I'll do that at the track. Don't want to do too many changes to any one particular part of the truck at once. So one change to the engine, and that's the jetting, and then I may mess with the timing down at the track. And then one change to the suspension, which is going to be the springs. So anyways, we're going to move on to the springs. All right, well here's my setup. I figure I'd go over it real quick before I start pulling it apart. This is an 8.8. It's out of a 96 Ford Explorer. It was a 373 with what the Ford calls locker, which it's not a locker, it's just a posi basically. Clutch disc posi type thing. I took 3 inches, I cut 3 inches out of this side and then just got a replacement axle for the short side to put in over here. So now it's centered and it's 3 inches narrower than it was. The other thing, when I did it, I made my cut underneath where a spring perch would be. So welded that back together there, and then by welding on the spring perch, reinforced it, I guess. I don't know, in my way of thinking. So that's done. The Caltrack bars, like I said before, I call them Scott Tracks because I made them. The U-bolts are from the Ford Explorer. The bottom plates are from that Ford Explorer. I just modified them, welded up the plates on the bottom to hold the bar, and modified them over here to hold the shock. Yeah, these are the factory U-bolts, and they've been holding up pretty good. The leaf, this is what I'm talking about. I only have 2 on there, so I'm going to put a 3rd one in the middle here. On both sides, maybe, I don't know. We'll figure that out. The shocks are just cheap Summit Racing rear shocks, I guess. I'm going to put some adjustable ones on when I do the, I got to go through this rear end. I'm going to weld up the 3rd member. I never did that. I'm going to put a spool in it and better axles and do all of this stuff. But one step at a time. That's how I've had to do this truck, and that's how I'll continue to do it, one step at a time. So for right now, that's my basic setup. I got 1-inch blocks underneath it just to kind of lower it a little bit. Truck sits really high, but I can't really, it's rubs getting in and out of the trailer right now, so I'm gonna have to figure that out because I would like to lower it down some. But anyways, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. So there's my center hole right here where the pin goes. Measure from the center of there up to 18, which will put me right here. And you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put this on the bandsaw and cut it over there. That way it doesn't get hot or anything. And then 18 back to here. So, off to the bandsaw. All right, well there we have it all back together. And I got the 3rd leaf in there. I just ran them the same length as the other leaf that was on there. I like the way that the suspension works. It was just too soft. So hoping by just running that same size leaf, it doesn't change the characteristics too much. So, but it's all back together. Now it's on the ground. I'm gonna have to torque everything down, and do all that, but and there we have it. All right, well that's gonna wrap it up. Carburetor's done. Got 83s in the front, 84s in the back, jet size. I'll bring the timing light with me down to the track and adjust the timing if I need to. Rear suspension's done. I got the springs done. So you can see I added that other leaf in there like I just showed you. So overall pretty good. It sits high, man. This truck sits real high. It's like 30 inches into the wheel well. I could go down 2 inches in the back and 2.5 in the front, maybe even 3 in the front, and still be in really good shape. So that'll probably be happening. My problem though is my new trailer. It goes the ramp right when you come from the trailer down the ramp. I'm hitting. In fact, my exhaust ripped a chunk out of the plywood that I just put down there. So I think I might cut the exhaust down a little bit just so it's not so tight. But I think just the positioning of the trailer and the truck and adjusting that height at the hitch, maybe stiffening up the springs in my Ford a little bit, the tow truck or towing vehicle, and modify the ramp a little bit. I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen. So, but anyways, that's all done, and I'm looking forward to it. The truck now sits level. It was an inch lower on the other side, and now it's 1/4 of an inch lower. Really, can you even measure that on something like this? So it's good. It's good. So I'm happy. I'm curious to see what it does. There's a lot of upgrades coming on that rear end. You know, this rear end worked really well with the 350 in here. And now that I got this engine, you know, the 350 was maybe 375 horsepower, maybe, I don't know, maybe 400. This one here is probably 4 1/4, maybe 450. I don't know, somewhere in that range. So it's a considerable amount more power. So it makes a difference on the suspension. The whole thing goes out the window when you change power levels, you know, your suspension setup. But anyways, that's gonna do it. Thanks for subscribing. Man, I appreciate it. Make sure you share. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do, because I'll appreciate you too. And like and share and give me the comments and all that good stuff. And it really gives me and Bean a real boost in our ego when we go on to YouTube and there we see new subscribers, or we see a comment, or we see something like that. You know, he wasn't able to help me with the truck today. He had another project he was working on. But he'll be in another video upcoming here pretty soon. So anyways, thanks a lot. I will see you next time. Oh, and by the way, stay safe.